Spirit Sessions, a view of the light, and come on in for your hugs. Love you all. Glad you're here. Sending out some sage to clean us all up so that we're all ready for whatever's going to happen, because you know what? Anything could happen today. So we got Rhonda. We have Rhonda Elliott back there doing our tech support. Like, she's like another heart of the show. Bex is one part of the heart. Rhonda's another part of the heart. And these girls, these women, spiritual warriors, keep the heartbeat of Spirit Sessions going on and on and on. And then it ripples to all of you. And then the ripples come back to us. And it's all amazing. So we do have a guest scheduled. Not sure what's going on. He may show up soon, Gary Ramsey. However, in the meantime, we will still be providing you with spiritual entertainment. Right, Rhonda? Take it away.
Right, Teresa. And I'm going to have Teresa talk about the new moon coming up, because we're always prepared on Spirit Sessions because we just channel this stuff down. Now, Teresa Warren has a gift of channeling angels, and she has a gift of intuition, and she's an amazing Akashic Records reader. So if you ever want to find past lives, I always send all my clients to her, because that's what she does. She is wonderful about drawing people's past lives in. She sees all these things in pictures in vivid color. And she's also doing, she has a subscription service for the new moon and full moon, and she gives you personalized readings, which she sends to you in emails. So, Teresa, can you tell us a little bit why this new moon is important? And I have to say, Gary Ramsey, either we got some of our wires crossed, or something's gone wrong with his internet, which could happen because there's storms all through New York in our area right now.
Oh, wow.
We just have to wait and see what's going to happen. We will bring Gary on soon. If he pops in, we'll bring him in. If he doesn't, then we'll just do a show and have it as a pre-recorded one, and we'll show it to you later on, because we don't want you to miss Gary. And his book is Bliss, A Hero's Journey. It talks about his, and the adventure continues. So Gary had inoperable cancer in his kidneys 6 years ago, and he was told to just go home, make sure his will was in order, and inform all his family, because he was going to die in 3 days. Well, that was 6 years ago. And this Bliss, A Hero's Journey, tells him about how he surrendered, and he found a clinic in Baja, California, and it was a miracle for him. And he talks about it in this book, Bliss, A Hero's Journey. Now, and his main thing is, whatever makes you feel good, you do it. And then just surrender to your choices and surrender to God. Now, he's come back in the past year with some brain cancer. But again, he was supposed to be dead by now, and he's not. So his adventure is continuing. He's had treatment, and he's doing well. The surrender is very important. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Nancy Louise. Thank you. Please share this out. We're going to talk about the new moon. We're going to pull some cards until Gary gets here, or we'll just pull cards for the next 30 minutes, and then that'll be it. And Bex will be back with us next week. Katie had to bow out of her co-host, but we'll see her come the equinox, won't it? On the 21st, whatever. Anyways.
Okay.
Sometime after the equinox. Hi, Melinda.
Right on.
It's nice to see you guys all coming up. So, Teresa, I'm going to put it back to you, and you let us know about what's special about this new moon in the last of summer.
All right. So, okay, first of all, I want to say I'm not an expert on this. The reason why I started doing these new moon and full moon subscriptions was because I wanted to learn more. And when I learn more, I can't help but to bubble up and try to share it with everyone as much as I can. So my guides have always been telling me to pay attention more to the moons, to the different cycles of the moon, and to align myself. And I was trying for a long time and not working, so I thought I'm going to commit to these new moon and full moon readings to at least align myself then and to align everyone else. And of all of it, I really do think the new moon is my favorite, because this is when you can create so much change and things. And the new moon coming up on the 27th of this month is a new moon in Virgo. And I got notes here I will share with you guys. Don't listen, Nancy. I don't want to make spoilers for your reading, but this new moon is so exciting because in ways it reflects back to 2 years ago. So that was 2020. What was going on for us? This
Oh,
was, you remember, huh, Rhonda? This was when so many things happened, but you kind of got to look at all the things. It's not only 2 years ago where we all in lockdown because of COVID and stuff, but there's also a lot of things going on with the global changing of the weather and stuff. And so all of these things are coming to revisit us. And what's cool about Virgo, when I was looking up information, Virgo does have to do with the grain and the food supply and things like that. And so I thought it was cool to see all those connections, but those things are coming to light. And there's like quick thinking, there's communication, which like Rhonda's talking about Mercury retrograde. Well, we're definitely going to need to work on good communication going on. And there was another thing I wanted to share. Whenever we're reading the new moons and full moons, there's so much other energies that go into it that's interesting. There's like Chiron is making an appearance and stuff, and there's all these things, all these words that I'm not ready to start using yet, but they all join together to bring us these influences. So every month we have the things that we are going through. I think the new moon is what sets us up for the rest of the month. And then by the full moon, we're harvesting what we set up. And I just love the way it cycles around. So for those who are getting my readings, who are subscribed, I've asked a question and then I pulled them all cards. The question was, within the push and pull of my energies, where do I need to focus my attention and intention? And I really like the way that went, because some of these energies of the different influences that are there, some are pushing us to go forward and go forward. Other parts are holding back. An example of this would be finally hooking up with someone, finding out they're wrong for you. There's a push and pull. Working at your job, but having an opportunity for another job. Oh, I love this. I love that. You know what I mean? So there's so many ways you can have the push and pull, but we don't have to get confused. We don't have to get that all wearing down on us. We could sit there and pay attention to it and see, where do I need to focus? Because no matter what's going on in the world, no matter what's going on with us, we can always turn within. And so that's why I have so much fun pulling the cards and learning about these things. I mean, one of these days I will be an expert. It's fun, Rhonda. I love it. I can't hear you. Are you muted?
I muted myself because my new dog's making noises. Um, I love how you're not an expert, but nobody's an expert. We're all just seekers. And I love how you are such a great researcher and that you are able to bring it down and break it down for us so we can understand a little bit better, because, all this stuff is new to me. Anyways, so do you have a card you'd like to pull maybe for the collective so we can sort of get an overall theme maybe? Would you like to do that today?
All right. Today I brought the deck, the Creativity deck by Amy Zerner and Monty Farber. It's a whole deck of creativity. That's why I love it. Every picture on it is done by Amy Zerner, who these are tapestries, so I can't wait. Let me pull the card and I'll show you. She makes these huge wall-side tapestries, and then they make them down into the cards. And then Monty, her husband, he comes up with amazing words with all that. So pulling for the collective today, I'm calling in the energies of the new moon, and I'm calling in the energies of all of our angels in the Angel of Spirit sessions, always here. And I'm calling in our Councils of Light team. That way I will be directed to just the right card. Boom. All right, look at this picture. Well, don't show the kids this one. But see these? It's like quilting. You know how you make pictures with quilts? All of these are pictures that she makes out of fabric. And so that's why these are like wall hangings and stuff. They're like big and then they come down. I've seen pictures of Amy's floor and there's all kinds of material everywhere and colors. It's just beautiful and inspiring. Can you see this?
Yeah.
Oh, you want me to put it in the chat? Okay, I see what you're
Yeah,
saying.
yeah. If you can type it in the comments in a minute what their names are, then we can look them up. But that is gorgeous. I love the angels. The
So,
old.
what this card is telling us is about worry. No, we don't worry, do we? No. Worry is an attachment to a particular outcome and the fear that it will not come to pass. Can you see how that would hold you back? I mean, we already know that worry is an affirmation, like a negative affirmation, but here it is because we are so stuck in the mud about the way we think it needs to be that we can't even open up to what spirit wants to bring through for us, which is always better.
Did
So
you read
here's
my
the
mind?
words.
It's just for me. Go ahead. Uh,
Well, it's backwards for me.
it's not
Worry.
for us. It's good. Well,
Okay.
let me see.
Worry is attachment to a particular outcome and the fear that it will not come to pass. So this card, these angels, they are here taking those ropes off us, taking off things that we are just hanging on to. Why? So that we can open up to what we really, really, really need that spirit knows. Woohoo.
And you know what's really cool about that, Teresa, is I think it's a lot of what Gary's message was to us.
Oh, you're
It's
right.
letting go of the worry about everything and just surrendering. Again, it's that surrender thing, right? If
I
we
love
don't
it.
worry, we're surrendering. It's so meshes. Children, we can't make this stuff up. Yeah, remember? Yeah, you can't make this stuff up. It's so goes with the theme of what's going on everywhere right now. You know.
Well, for real, surrender was my word for the year because I really wanted to understand how to be in a state of surrender all the time and not just when I'm overwhelmed because I usually get it. Okay, I'm overwhelmed. I don't know what to do. Oh, I guess I'll surrender. And then all of a sudden, all the insights come in. And I'm thinking, I just want to cut through all that. I want to know. I want to be in a state of surrender all the time. But then that takes you to all kinds of other things. So it needs to be a healthy balance to surrender because surrendering is not giving up. It is just letting go of your agendas, like the card was showing us, letting go of the expected outcomes so that we can get the beautiful outcome we really, really want.
Um, so I took a card and wondered, like, okay, so how can we do this? So I got one from Kyle Gray's. Oh, I love his cards. Angel Guide, which I've been
Woo-hoo. I've
using.
been using that one too for my readings this morning. I'm so glad you did that.
Okay, so I asked, and actually that's why I went down because one jumped out, and so I figured I have to use this one. And so here's the card. How we can let go of worry is by
Oh,
taking a step back.
yes.
Um, It's taking the step back, letting the healing come in. See the purple flame? See, kind of reminds me a little bit of Saint Germain in here, and Michael. So I guess it's both. Um, but taking a step back, and what this means is by taking a step back, we can get a better perspective, and we're not trying to force stuff to happen because we realize that we're here. Stuff has always worked out in the past for us one way or another, and we always say, "Oh, gee, isn't it lucky that? Isn't it lucky that?" And like people have been watching, so worry, letting go of that, so you don't even have to go through that time period where you are like putting your life on hold
Yes.
because you're so involved in the worry that you can't appreciate everything that's going around you. And by, you know, getting out of that attitude of gratitude, you manifest the bad things, right? So by taking a step back and saying, look at all I have, look at all I've achieved, look at where I came from, look at all the blessings in my life, then that worry kind of just dissolves away. At least I think. At least that's the way I'm interpreting this card and what they're telling me. So I don't know. So I don't know who's watching today and what's going on. So I don't know if we want to do some collective ones, or what do you think, Teresa?
Oh,
If
I'll do
somebody
whatever you want.
shall we? If anybody wants a card, put their name up. I don't know how many we can do in the next 15, 20 minutes, but we'll pull
And
you.
only until Gary comes, too.
Yeah, until Gary comes, or we just reschedule Gary for another day and we just do a show with him and pre-record it and go on from there. So
Yeah, we
something
be
may have happened. We
flexible.
just don't know. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, thank you. That's how I feel. What will be will be. Stay in the gratitude of love. Okay. So if we miss you, put your name in again because I'm not so great at this today. Okay. So Kathy Schlieblen Donley, and excuse me for butchering names because I'm Canadian and I butcher everybody. And I'll use the Canadian as an because everything looks. I have to pretend it's French, but I know Schlieblen sounds like it's Germanic, could be Dutch. I'm not sure. Donley. Uh, I will be in joy, but not desperate. That's what Melinda says.
Oh, I
Okay,
love it.
so Kathy would like a card first, and then
Oh,
Lisa.
Kathy is here. Oh, how cool is that?
Yeah, Kathy is here, so that's great.
Okay, are you pulling a card or me? Is it my turn or
Yeah,
yours?
it's your turn. Your turn.
My turn. All right,
turn.
Kathy. Here we go.
But if you join Teresa's subscriptions, Teresa, how much is it for your subscription service per month? And how do you do?
$22.22, and you get a personal full moon reading and a personal new moon reading. And then, based on the readings and what your guides are telling me, I may send Reiki balls of healing. I may give you a meditation. There's all kinds of bonuses that are all personalized.
So hopefully my grade 9 German, which was really bad, and I was really bad at it, helped me say your name correctly, Kathy. So we've got Kathy here. Okay.
Okay, Kathy, look at the picture on this card. Like I say, these are all huge tapestries. It's all made out of material, and then they got the pictures of it. So look at that. Yeah. Kind of interesting. This card is called Details. Details. Examine your situation and take care of every detail, one step at a time. And this is like you're saying, Rhonda, about taking back a step back and looking at the situation and seeing what's going on. Don't have to be overwhelmed. Just take one step at a time. There's something there that needs to be seen that may mess up everything later, or that may make it even better. There may be a chance, like kind of like the spider in the web. Is the spider got something out there that it's time to harvest and take care of? Well, looking at the details will show you that. Oh, hi, talking about spiders, huh? Yeah. And then the other thing is, or could something be diving in to attack you? Look out. And then so the spider's like going back in and hiding from all that. So just from simply looking at the details, you could see and get the messages of where your next step needs to be. I hope that's helpful.
Okay, Lisa wants a card, and then it will be Melinda, and then it will be Nancy. Yay. Okay. Oh, no, it's Sherry. Sherry, and then Melinda. So Sherry, then Melinda, then.
So you got Sherry and I got Melinda?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but first I have Lisa.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, whatever way we go. Yeah. No, yeah. Well, let me do Melinda first. I mean,
one at a time. Back to the details.
Back to the details. Let me do Lisa first, and then we won't get ahead of ourselves.
It's just too exciting, isn't it?
Okay, Lisa, this is your card, and I'll put it on. So, Lisa, yours is earthing and grounding. And that's mainly because you're so high vibe. Lisa, you have to really make a conscious effort earth and ground. So you can pull in those light codes and pull in everything and anchor them to the earth to actually make a point of contact for the light codes to come in and actually spread out across the area that your light worker self is covering for the earth. So please, earth and ground. It also will help pull in more energy for your body, and you will stop being so burnt out. Because if by grounding you're bringing it all the way down into yourself and drawing in more energy and having it ground. So in other words, get out of your head, get into your feet, go swimming in the ocean, or just put your feet in the ocean where you are and just feel that sand between your toes. So that's the card for Lisa.
Well, that sounds fun, getting our sand in the toes. Ooh, ooh.
I think so. Um, you have Sherry.
Did you guys see that snake that we found in the creek the other day? It
Yeah.
was swimming toward Anthony, and Anthony was on a log. And so we weren't getting our toes in the sand at the creek that day, I tell you.
No, I don't know what it was, but yeah, my place, I still don't like snakes in the water, but none of them are venomous. But your place, yeah, that's another story.
Okay, so I'm pulling for Sherry, you said?
Yes, yes, please.
Okay, my friend Sherry, I am so glad to have this opportunity to pull for you. Let me show you this beautiful artwork here.
Let me just, yeah, I'll get that in there. There we go. Oh, that's
Look at
gorgeous.
that. Yeah, look at that. What is this, like a morning glory or something down here? I mean, this is just so many things to it. So, Sherry, what this card is telling you is about insight. See beyond appearances, masks, cliches, and cultural stereotypes to gain insight. So, this is still like all the other cards we've been pulling this morning, time to take a step back and to examine and look at things in the details. And don't just take things as they are. And I don't mean necessarily in a conspiracy way, although fine, but mostly in your personal life. There's something that you need to kind of look beyond the appearance. And you, with all that spiritual warmth and everything you feel, I think you already are doing this with this situation. So this card might be a validation for you that you are seeing beyond these appearances. But there's more to be gained by your personal, I kind of want to say testimony, but by your personal way of life and the way you live, so truthful and so beyond a lot of the appearances, it's good to know what you're looking at so that you can continue to see beyond and know that the truth that is there, the truth, you can feel it in your tummy, is where I'm feeling it right now. There's something that you need to see beyond, and it's going to help you. Man, this is going to bring healing to you. So this is really a particular and personal card, not just sort of collective. This is really a personal card for you, Sherry, that there's something you need to see beyond that's going to bring healing to you, and it's going to help you to breathe easier, is what I'm getting, because I'm feeling like that cleansing breath afterwards. That's what I'm feeling, Sherry. How does that sound?
Wow. Oh, that's great. That's amazing. Sorry, I'm coming back to you. Sorry, I'm getting back. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. I was looking at Lisa's and Sherry's. I'm just trying to get everybody there. Hello, everyone. Yeah, give me a minute because I get off into my brain. Okay. So, Melinda, I pulled a card for you. I dropped them on the floor again, and this is the one that came up for you. Yeah. And Penny's here saying hello. It's earth and ground again.
Oh, nice.
I shuffled and shuffled onto the ground, and I still picked up earth and ground. So, Melinda. I know what this is about you. For you, you get so high vibed, and you're sending out all those love balls and enabling people that you forget that you need to ground yourself. You're grounded for everybody else, but for Melinda. And this is also a card of protection. Just know that you're protected, and all the work you've been doing has been acknowledged, and that they just want you again to get to the water. Yep, I can see you out in the streams, whether you're collecting rocks or what. Just get to the water, get your feet into lovely sand or those pebbles, and get yourself grounded, and just suck in that energy that's coming from source, and just really start filling your cup now, and filling it so you can overspill that joy to everybody that's going around and, you know, kind of taking your energy from you. So hopefully that helped you. Okay, let me get back to where we were. It's like chewing gum and walking at the same time. Okay, so Nancy is the next one. So this is a different card for Nancy, for you.
Okay, Nancy, are you ready for this? I know I think she's on the road, and so she'll be in and out, but this will be here for you when you can hear it. Here's your picture.
Okay,
just check this out.
Oh, that's a beautiful picture.
Yeah, you would like that too, huh, Rhonda? Check it out.
Constellation.
So what could this be about?
It's Pegasus.
Well, looks like a Pegasus to me.
Yeah, wonderful.
I gotta love it. This card is about transformation. Allow the energy of fear to be transformed by love, creativity, and compassion. So, for what I really want to say is Nancy's been doing some fast track advancing on her spiritual path and making lots and lots of transformations. And so, to keep with the theme of what's going on, pay attention to the transformations that you're going through. Celebrate them. And as they come through, each one is opening up to new gifts, multiple new gifts coming in. I call them new because they might be new to this lifetime for you. Oh, hi, Nancy. Thank you for pulling over. But these are skills and insights that are really beyond the earth, from lifetimes from before, and things that you planned at this lifetime to bring in. And so all this rapid transformation that you are going through is getting you an alignment with these things. So that's why it seems like they're new, but really it's more of your true and higher self coming in to be the person you wanted to be on the planet. And I want you to know it's that much closer for you. You are right on it. So keep doing what you're doing, Nancy, but be nurturing to yourself as you do, because this transformation is growth, right? It's exciting. So blessings to you.
Yeah, you're flying high, Nancy, with that card. So the next person I have in my line is Kathy Curry. Kathy Curry says, "Can you pull a card for me?" She'd love it. So you're welcome, Kathy Donnelly. I'm just going to stop trying to say your name there. So Kathy Curry, let me pull a card for you. Thank you, angels, for revealing to Kathy what she needs to know. Feels so good to have you here. Thank you for your presence. Oh, Kathy Curry. Here's this card. I love this when this card comes up because I think it's like a card for the collective every time. It's self-acceptance. Kathy, you are so accepting of others and love so many different people and just accept them for themselves. I believe that the one person you really need to show this self-love and self-acceptance is to yourself. And your angels are just reminding you that to really love other people, you have to love yourself. And you really have to just say, yeah, I'm great the way I am. Thank you very much for making me this unique light on this world, and that I have something to share. And thank you. I'm just going to accept myself the way I am and stop trying to fit yourself into anybody else's mold. So that acceptance will just help you radiate more of what your purpose is to the earth, and even give you wings. So it's a beautiful self-acceptance card. So I don't know if you've been feeling a little bit off, this card is for you. It's a beautiful card. Yeah, gorgeous. Okay.
I like that lady's pose on the card. It's like we could all rub our hands together We can all put them on our heart and collect the heart energy, all that love, and put it on our cheeks and love
Yeah,
ourselves. Oh my God, we
that's
need
one of my
this.
favorite poses when I'm doing Reiki on people.
Oh
I
wow.
love I love putting my hands right there on there. It just feels like a mother's touch or something.
Wow.
So yeah. Okay, so the person you have is Samantha. I'm gonna jump down and see. Uh, here's why you need to get. Uh, here's why you need to get Teresa's subscription. Thank you for this gift today. Thanks, Nancy. And Kathy, what's Kathy
Love
said?
you.
Thank you, sweetie. You are spot on. Really, I'm just the facilitator. That your angels are telling me that. I like to go back and yeah, you can't make this stuff up. So thanks. Okay, so I got to get back to where I was. Sorry, I get who I was on. Boo, boo, boo. And it was Samantha. Samantha, yay!
All right,
And please, if
Samantha.
you've got a chance, make sure you like our page, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and if you can, do me the big favor. I don't know if you all have podcasts or not. If you can go in, find our podcast. It's in Apple and Spotify and every place you get them. Spirit Sessions, A View of the Light. Go in, rate the show like 5, just saying. And yeah, just check out our podcast. That really helps the algorithm so people can find our show better. So, the
Gary
message.
messaged us.
Oh, did he? Okay. Did he have a
Um,
problem?
no,
No.
no, he apologizes. Um,
Oh, see.
let me get back to us there. I always get
I'm
so
gonna have
lost
to.
when
I'm
you're
gonna.
gone.
Oh, he's here, but he hasn't been. Okay, I'm gonna have to find it. I'll be right back. Yeah, I gotta send him another invite. So. Oh,
Oh, really? Okay.
Gary. Okay,
Okay,
you go
so
ahead.
Samantha,
Yeah,
I got
there he is.
a really cool looking card for you. So
Oh,
let me show it to you
hi,
guys.
Gary. Sorry.
Uh,
No, oh my lord, I am so sorry.
No, no. I think it's not a problem. We're just doing one more card, and then we're gonna have you on. Yay.
Oh, wonderful.
Okay. This is for
yeah, this is
Samantha.
just what we do in the meantime. So Gary, you can catch your breath and get yourself all grounded in. This is a card
Okay.
for Samantha. So check out the beautiful tapestry artwork here.
Okay, just a sec. I'm gonna put you on big. There you go. Oh,
Yeah, look at this.
I love that card. That would
And
make a
this,
great.
at first I was thinking it's a bear, but it could be a beaver. Maybe I need my glasses and
Here,
see.
put it up again, and I'll tell you. I've seen both lots.
Well, yeah, go ahead. What is it? I don't
It looks
really
to
see
me
the
like
big old.
it looks like a grizzly bear to me from
Okay,
here.
all right. Well, that's cool. They're from
Okay.
Orion. Did you know that?
Well, there you
Anyway,
go.
what this card, Samantha, is about. Are you ready for this? Willpower. Use your willpower to bravely overcome thoughts of compromise and defeat. Woo, woo, woo. You see that? It's your willpower. It's your choice whether to give in to the defeat or compromise or whatever way you want it to go. You are the one in power and you're the one who gets to decide. Use your willpower right here in your solar plexus, your personal sunshine. Use that, feel it come up, and allow it to help you see what you really need to see right now and to do what really is for your highest good at this time. So,
Uh, Melinda says it's a honey badger,
honey
but
badger. Oh, that could be it because, yeah, how cool is that?
yeah, I could see that too. That's
Cool.
beautiful. I love
So,
that card.
Samantha, willpower.
Willpower, and that's like willing yourself to stop worrying. Okay, so we'd like to. We kind of gave them an
Put it back on
introduction.
Gary now.
Yeah, I'm going to. Give me a second, Teresa. I only have 2 hands. Okay. So this week has gone just swimmingly. So Gary, can you unmute yourself there? And we'd like, if you would like to give yourself a little introduction. I kind of given the audience a little bit and told them about your book and that they can find all your information. But hey, what? Not sure what happened, but we're here now. So
We're
take
here
it away.
now. We're here now.
Oh,
Crazy
and here's
day.
the hugs. Here, hugs.
Yay! Hug to you guys too. So, well, I am Gary Ramsey. I was supposed to die 7 years ago. I succeeded in staying alive, which I was not supposed to. And now I have been once again gifted with cancer, which is stage 4 metastatic that has gone to the brain, which is probably why I was running late, and to the lungs. So now I am in my second, what will we say? My second tango. Yes, second miracle with cancer, and am currently navigating my way through that. So that's pretty much the introduction. It's been a wild ride. And, I just really want to say to people that I truly, truly, truly cannot say enough what a blessing these cancers have been. And that's why I call it Bliss, One Hero's Journey is my book from the first cancer. I don't know what will happen with this next book. We will see. We will absolutely see. This one's a little more tricky in that it is stage 4 and that it has metastasized. So that means, it's more spread out than it was initially. But thus far, well, I'm supposed to be dead in 7 weeks, according to my first diagnosis from the second cancer.
Wow.
And I'm feeling great. Everything is going well, except some slips in my brain where I forget things, like today's appointment. But basically, I'm living a normal, regular, everyday life. I can do everything I need to do for myself. I can, shop, cook, laundry. I teach private students. So everything is pretty much back to normal. And so now the question is to see where this cancer is taking me. And I like to imagine, no, I shouldn't say even imagine. I like to see why the cancer is here, what it has to do, what it needs, what it wants, and what it wants from me. Because I do believe the cancer is a gift from God. I don't see cancer as a nemesis that has come to kill me, even though it is my second death sentence. So that's really been, and what do I teach? Somebody's saying, I teach the Alexander technique, which I have used a lot through these 2 journeys. And it is really about the mind-brain-body relationship and how well we are functioning within our mind-body-brain relationship. So again, we only have 2 choices in life. We're either at peace and in a good place with our systems and the environment, or we're not at peace and we're in a space that's more negative or not of ease and not of calm. And the one thing that cancers do is it knocks everybody out of their sense of peace, their sense of ease.
Yeah.
And that is what I'm really on this second journey. I am very much trying to dispel. I was just talking to a stage 4 person. He's going to die as well. Oh, by the way, I don't know if all of you know, stage 4 means it's metastatic. You are going to die. I mean, that's basically the premise for the American model system. And I do say the American model system. Because remember, I'm being treated in Mexico, which has a different model. So once again, everything is perspective. There is no real reality out there other than our belief system and how we are unfolding our thing. And Samantha here is saying, I think cancer comes to teach something. Absolutely. about ourselves, about yourself, something that you really need to go deep inside of. And I cannot agree with you more, Samantha. It is a true, true journey. And remember, death comes to all. So
Yeah, and my sister always says you don't get out of here alive.
you don't get out of here alive. And what we have to realize is these are all journeys. And some of us, our journeys get, intercepted with cancers, diseases, problems. But I no longer see any of it as a problem. It is a learning. And then the question is, what are you going to do with the learning? Fear, of course, is the biggest, what do you want to say? The biggest demonic force that comes to us to really stop us from healing, from thriving, from going forward. Fear is the real problem. And I will tell you, yes, and yes, Lisa's saying, yes, we create our own reality. We absolutely do. We absolutely do. And mindset, yes, she's saying is so important because our mindset is our life. And if our mindset is one of negativity or fear or distrust or whatever the case may be, that is what we will create in this, in our world that we have created. It is such a, I'm thinking it's really a game of the mind. It's truly a game of the mind. And again, people get all wrapped up in the physical of the disease because remember, that's how we're programmed in the scientific, quote unquote, medical world. We're programmed to get caught up in the physical, and that only outer physical can help it. Chemo, this, that, therapies, pills, da, 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 da. And I'm here to say that's really not true. As a matter of fact, I'm now here to say that I don't think any healing happens unless the person is willing and allows it.
Yeah.
Healing will never happen from an outer source. And in a sense, I have to say, I know people with lesser cancer than mine who have died. And they weren't supposed to, and I was supposed to, and I'm the one alive and they're the ones dead. So it's kind of the proof that no, what is the key factor? That it's consciousness. Consciousness is really what's determining, and spirit is really determining how the end is going to come out. And for those of you that don't know my story, I mean, I was told 7 years ago I would die and there was nothing to be done. And I was told that here in the medical system here. And they said, no operation, nothing will be able to save you. And here I am. And now I was told, second time, that I will die, except this time it will take 6 to 12 months. The first time, and they gave Kelly Bird 5 years, and she just made 14. And again, that's wonderful, Kelly. Journeys, my doctor found a spot on my lung. I kept saying it was just a bruise, nothing to worry about. When it came time for the biopsy, the spot was gone. Exactly. Exactly. And this is what we as a people have to start recognizing, and we have to stop going along with the programmed behavior that is basically very, everybody says it's about the science. No, it's not about the science. And I can tell you why. Science never takes in consideration consciousness or spirituality. Neither. Ever. There isn't a test alive that takes in consciousness or spirituality, which is why they are so massively wrong so much of the time. But the only ones they can get are the ones that believe in the fear programming that they are being sold. And I was sold the fear program. They told me I had to do a chemo program to alleviate the pain. It was basically palliative care. And of course, I didn't do it. And I'm in no pain. It hasn't spread anywhere else.
Wow.
According to my last test, I have about 20% of the brain cancer still left in the brain, and I have 50% of the cancer in one lung, and the other lung, which was cancer filled, is totally,
Clear.
totally,
Wow.
yeah.
That's awesome.
Woo-hoo.
So how do you do that? So
Yeah.
how do you personally walk from that mindset of always having those little monkeys talk about you're dying, you're dying, you're dying? Because I mean, everyone is dying, but we don't sit there and concentrate on it. But once we're given cancer or some other terminal illness, I think, or some other scare, we all start thinking, "Oh, what if I'm dying? What if I'm dying?" You know, um, how do you get out of that? How do you
Well,
personally?
first of all, that very line, because remember, I was told it, I can't tell you how many times, with both cancers, by experts, quote unquote. First of all, what I learned, especially from the first cancer, whatever is told from the perspective of the person telling you. Okay? Now, we have to remember everything is a perspective. That's all it is. And even though you are with, as I was, a very top, very highly respected, quote unquote, expert, right? That they are still limited in their perspective. I don't care how lauded, how great, it doesn't matter if they're the master of something, they are still only presenting you with a perspective. And that perspective is limited to them. Now, what I have found, all of us, we are all limited. We can only see as much as we can. Some of us have a larger perspective, some of us have a more narrow perspective, but we are all of us limited. So, since that first cancer journey, and they were proved wrong, I have now come to understand every perspective is limited. Every perspective is limited. Every person is limited to their sense of what they think is going on. And what I've also learned about doctors work in a disease platform, and they expect the diseases to happen in the way that they have been programmed to see them.
Right.
Stage 4 is one of the big programs. You will die eventually of stage 4. Period, end of quotation marks. And I will tell you, according to their treatments, you will. I've already been told if I had gone along with their program, I'd probably be bedridden or very close to dying by now. I'm only 7 weeks away from my terminal diagnosis. So that's the other problem. And what I don't want to do is I'm not trying to give anybody a bad image. That's correct. The doctors cannot see, Lisa is saying, beyond what they're being told. Because remember, they've been programmed as well. And then they program the patient. And believe me, your mind system, your mind body spiritual system will go along with whatever program you give it. It
Right.
will absolutely do it. So back to your question, Rhonda. First, I say, okay, this person only has a perspective, which may or may not be in the direction my system is going. There is only God really knows where it's going to go in the ultimate end of the reality. And maybe it will be my time. Maybe this is the time where I'm going to check out. Maybe not. I don't know. So then I look at, okay, where do I need to go with this? Do I feel like I should go with these treatments? Do I feel I should go someplace else? What do I want to do? Do I feel like I should go on a cruise? Like, what
Absolutely,
do
yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel I need to do? Because I'm going to tell you something. Anything can heal you if you are open to that possibility and potential. And I don't care what it is. You could go out and get a dog and it could heal you. If you are really in that set of mind and body and spirit, it will have miraculous results. But if you do not have that mindset and you're being kind of cavalier and you're blowing everything off and going, no, 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 I can do this, and I believe, but you really don't, now you're in big trouble. Now you're in big trouble. And Kelly Bird is saying triple negative breast cancer, stage 3, was removed, most aggressive breast cancer, and I am assuming it was completely successful.
Yeah.
So what do you feel I need to do? I needed Lisa to go to Mexico, because Mexico was the place that taught me that my first cancer, which was deemed inoperable and incurable, they saw a window of opportunity to cure it. And they did. And they did. So, of course, when I got this cancer back, they were already familiar with me and the past cancer. So why not go back to the place that did the first miracle?
Yeah.
But that was how my journey unfolded. Now, I have people who have literally healed themselves all by themselves from really a miraculous event. Anita Moorjani probably being one of the most famous,
Yes.
but people who have literally healed entirely from their own process. And that's why I never give people advice. I never tell yay or nay, ever, ever. If people ask me, as I'm being asked now, what did I do? I tell them what I'm telling you right now. I never tell people to stay away from any particular type of medicine, whether it's Western and highly aggressive, or it's, Eastern and highly non-invasive. I never tell anybody what's better or worse, because I don't know their journey. I do not know who they are, where they come from, or what they are destined for. But I will say, once cancer arrives, you are destined for something, and you are destined for something big. And then the question is, what do you do with that opportunity? And it is an opportunity. Even accidents, all of it. The more I keep researching and talking to people, it does, maybe not in the beginning, but it always turns out to be a divine journey with a magnificent blessing. Just a magnificent blessing.
Sometimes people need a 2x4 upside the head to start listening.
That is correct.
That's me. I'm that kind of person.
So everyone has their own journey, Lisa's saying.
And ease and grace. With ease and grace. We keep forgetting to put that in, because I don't know. When you call in the angels, or benevolent outcomes, with ease and grace should always be in there, because we don't have to do it the hard way, Gary.
No, we never do. But as Teresa pointed out, some people need a 2x4. And so they do need a harder, more stiffer awakening, or to get their attention, it has to be greater. And I've known many people who've gone that route. I know many people who love to fight and struggle. They love it. And yes, staying positive can work for a lot of people. That's why she stays away from negativity. I go to the doctor for diagnosis, and then she does natural, right? And that can really work for certain people, but I can give you a list of people that would never work for. They would be totally no way. They need to suffer. They need to be in pain. And I know many who have healed their cancer for over 10 years by going through the most horrific treatments that they will even say, almost killed them.
Right.
And they did it, and they got through, and they're totally fine.
Do you think it's their soul contract?
Yes, I do. I think it has a lot to do with soul.
Okay, and what they wanted to learn on this earth. So they could have done it the easy way, but that's the 2x4 again that they needed. Okay, so what do I need to learn?
I'm careful. I believe in ease and grace. I truly do. That's me. That works for me. but I'm very careful not to push that onto other people, because other people, they've got a very different thing going, and they're driving a Mack truck, and they're not driving a tiny little compact car. You know, they're really driving something massive. So I don't poo-poo or say, no, you should just be easeful, because it's not going to be helpful to them. It's not going to be helpful at all. And it is really, once they do this, they empower themselves. And remember, you are the one healing. The doctors are never healing you. And I always tell people, all disease is like a pregnant woman. She's got it, and she's going to deliver it. Now, she can get a lot of help. She can get a lot of outside help, but in the end, it's her baby.
Yeah.
And in the end, it's going to be her responsibility with what unfolds. And that's the end of the story. And that's how I really look at it. You can get outside help, and maybe it will really help you. I've known people who've gone to a voodoo doctor and were healed. I mean, of major cancer. Oh, good analogy. Thanks, Lisa. I'm glad you liked it. So that's what I offer people when they call me in crisis and they want help, and that's what I offer them. And I almost always say, well, what are you thinking? What's going on for you? Where are you at? And of course, a lot of people really entrenched in the horrors of the Western medical. Because remember, Western medical does love to horribilize everything, because we are high in malpractice. So higher the malpractice, the more they horribilize, because they don't want you thinking it's going to be a bed of roses, right? And that's just the system. That's just whatever you want to call it, the corruption or the way that it works, or the programming. It doesn't matter what you call it. That's the way it works. So I try to tell people, you don't have to go along with that if you don't want to. You don't have to do that. There is a wide, big old world out there that, trust me, medicine does not work the same way in other places. It does not.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think probably the East takes in the whole body and
Yes.
the whole spiritual system, how they're all tied together. The Western is coming from the car mechanics sort of point of view. We put you on, plug your stats in here. This is what it's diagnosed, so that's what it's got to be, no matter what else.
Yes.
Like your car's not running because these things are wrong. It's not that the wheels are all falling off. It's
That's
because
right.
these things are wrong. But and I always tell people, like, doctors are human. They're just mechanics of the body. This is their trade. So
Right.
you go to talk to your doctors, but then you have to also, it's your body, and your body has its own wisdom.
Absolutely.
Yes.
It knows what's going on. That's the way I feel about it. But
Once you deny yourself, and I've known so many people who've done this, they deny their system because of maybe their children want them to do something very different, or maybe their spouse or their loved ones. It doesn't really matter who it is. And they go against what they want to do. It always turns out badly.
Yeah.
Always. Never works. Never works.
Yeah, I know. And people don't realize that death is not the worst thing.
No. I've been there twice.
Yeah. Have you like I like, to me, that's not the worrisome part about all these things. I've seen the treatments, and they're pretty worrisome.
They're pretty worrisome. Yeah. And they, we got to remember, especially, in this country, it's highly toxic, because the whole idea is to kill everything, including everything good as well as everything bad. So, and that's, again, does work for certain people. And then other people, as we know, it kills them. It totally kills them. So, for example, I brain cancer, right? Which, by the way, was I will say, brain cancer taught me more than anything else I've done in the last, since the first cancer. It was astoundingly informative. I can't even tell you. I mean, I could go on for hours just about the brain cancer. But when I was treated in Mexico, they said that they were thinking of doing at first 10 radiations. And then 10 got cut to 5. And then 5, and they were targeted radiations. They almost were going to just go for 4. And at the last minute, they thought, let's do the 5th. Now, the reason I'm telling this story is if you had stage 4 in the States, 5 radiations is unheard of. It's unheard of. I know people with stage 1 that have had 28 radiations. Okay. So, exactly. And I only did 5, and it was astoundingly easy. And 80% of the brain cancer was eradicated. At least this was last May. I don't know what's going on now because I'm still on therapies from out there. Plus, I'm on therapies here in the States. So I don't know where it's at currently. I know where it was towards the middle of May.
So, do you work with angels, spirit,
Yes.
higher power?
All of the above.
You have a healing team that comes in and works on Gary every day, Yeah,
and I am big in faith. I am Catholic, born Catholic, baptized, but I do find a lot of solace and meditative peace in prayer. And even though I don't buy into everything that goes on within the Roman Catholic Church, what I do is I buy into the parts that are really healing. And really, it's just more meditation and more prayer and giving over ourselves to a greater force. Because I mean, ultimately, where did we come from? We came from somewhere, and that greater force put us through here, this instrument. And so I really go from that aspect. But, I don't buy into the doom and gloom and how bad we all are by nature and blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah.
that was the control structure that was put in.
That's the control structure. And what we have to remember, and this is another thing, whether we're talking about religion, corporations, governments, business, I don't care what we're talking about. You've always got negative coming through the control structure because you always have people that are greedy. They have an agenda. They are, dealing with their ego. Always, always, always. I don't care what it is. Medicine, science, oh my God. They're like the worst because they will do anything to get funding. Literally, they'll do anything.
I mean, there's pure science, which always is asking questions.
Always.
And then there's the science of money.
Money.
Where we can do this science and we can say it's science and that's how much money we're kind of, and then there's the science that's saying, yeah, but there's always questions because real science is observation and asking questions, right?
Absolutely. And once people get stuck, and that's why I hated that phrase, follow the science, there's really no excellent, good, true science because most of it is paid for agenda. That's it.
It's follow the money. It's not follow the science.
Yeah, follow the money. That I like, And yes, the medical community has fallen into the same trap. They would kill their grandmother if it was worth enough,
I think a lot of them are, I shouldn't say that. I think the pressures that are put upon the higher medical is a lot like what's put on the politicians. They get into it thinking they're going to be really helpful and they want to do good things for their community. And then the pressures of money and you have to do this to get here and you have to do that takes over and kind of corrupts it, corrupts the purity. I mean, there are so many medical workers. I'm thinking of the nurses and the doctors that are working their hardest out there. But the pressures that don't let them do what they really want to do because or they don't have time to do, or they don't have, support to do it. So I have a dog in the background who's just really groaning.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
No, I agree with you 100%. And we have to remember that when we are dealing with those places and things and people, that's an agenda that is almost always there. Some people, it's more of an agenda. Some people, less of an agenda. But, let's face it, every doctor is paying a third of their income in malpractice insurance. Right there. So, come on. You know what I mean? And we also have to remember they have to follow the programs. If they don't follow the programs, they will be ousted from the system because the system is designed in a particular way. And for example, my cancer, they don't really want you to live very long. Because they expect you're not going to. Stage 4, you're not going to live long. And there are hundreds of thousands of people who have survived stage 4. Hundreds of thousands. So, and yes, thank you, Sherry. She's saying I'm speaking the truth. Doesn't take too long to spot people like that. It really doesn't. And it is hard to accept the truth sometimes. It's hard to accept that daddy or mommy may be the murderer. It's a very difficult thing that the thing you thought was really going to help you is not at all what is being intended. And I really had to get over that with my first cancer. It was like, well, how could you tell me I was going to die any minute? And the reason is because they didn't understand that my first the way they treated my first cancer was even possible, because all of those treatments are illegal in the United States. So if doctors here don't even know that they're possible, well, how in God's name are they going to treat it? They
I
can't.
think it's also control.
Yes.
Like people go, this is A, this is B, you've got cancer, this is what's going to happen next, this is what's going to happen next. And this, they like that sense of control because it eliminates some of their personal fear.
That's correct. And then no questions are asked, because that's what it is. That's the science. So you can't ask me questions, because remember, they really won't have answers.
Yeah.
They won't have answers.
Stupid.
Exactly. And then they always think, right, the person is stupid. By the way, that's one thing they love to do. And I had this happen as well. They blame you for all the things that happen to you. You are the problem, never them, never what they've done. It's you, because of then it becomes about your body. The minute it doesn't work out the way they need it to work out. So it's really quite astounding. And doctors, again, there's an arrogance there because they deeply believe in this system. Otherwise, they wouldn't be here. So they believe in it, and that's their livelihood. But unfortunately, some of the practices in the American system are kind of along the lines of Dr. Mengele. It's just not real helpful to the individual. And, and in cancer, cancer is the big one. Remember, cancer is a $1 trillion moneymaker.
Oh, absolutely.
If it were eradicated tomorrow, that would be the most devastating thing for the medical community. It will never be eradicated in the United States if the system continues the way it continues. It will never happen. And they do all these cancer, come on, let's make money for cancer. And all that is more money in their pockets.
Making money for cancer.
Making money for cancer. That's it. Upholding cancer.
Yeah.
So I urge people not to fall into that. They're never going to cure it. They will never cure it. It's too big.
And a lot of the drugs that they give you for cancer cause cancer. So
correct.
I just there's lots of different attitudes and things we can do that. Sorry, go away, Penny. I got a new dog here, and she really wants to say hello, but you just stay down. But you're right. Dogs are very healing. There's all sorts of alternatives we can do, and I think even if you are going through the traditional down, sweetie. Even though you're going through their tradition. Now I'm Canadian, so it's a little different up here.
Yes.
Maybe just a wee bit. You can do all the traditional treatments, but it doesn't mean you can't do all the complementary therapies that are going to help you go through.
That's exactly right.
So you can mesh them and do all the things. Like number one, whether it's COVID or cancer, improve your diet.
That's right.
It'll improve your immune system. Already you're going to do something better for yourself, right? Is that
Absolutely.
so? You do some stuff with diet. What's your diet look like these days?
Well, mine's a little special because remember, the first cancer, the right kidney was removed. So we never do, I never do alcohol. I don't do processed sugar, but I will do natural sugars.
Like
Um,
fruits,
correct.
right? Okay.
Or things that are made from fruit stuff. I stay moderately away from processed wheat. Um, and then red meat. I don't do red meats only because it's very, very hard on the kidney. And I was told don't do that. Remember, though, in the States, if you've had a kidney removed, you can eat whatever you want, whatever you want. So once again, you can see the difference in the systems. And Mexico, of course, they're completely in the opposite direction. And same way, alcohol. If you've had one kidney removed, you can drink whatever you want. But remember here, dialysis is a huge thing.
Oh, it's a huge business.
Huge
That's a
business.
huge part of
Huge
it.
business. So they don't mind if your other kidney fails. That's not, but again, they're programmed that way. They really believe it's not a big deal. And that going on dialysis is a natural form of, living with one kidney. Yes, the meds do cause cancer. Yes, and that's why she threw it in the garbage. That's from Sherry. Yes.
Well, I find it very interesting that the two main things that cause most of our health problems, especially as we age, uh, cigarettes and alcohol are taxed very heavily and is a great source of income for our governments. Um,
Yes.
and people say, "Well, I pay my taxes," so but it doesn't even up here. I always kind of say, "Well, that'll pay for a week in the hospital, whatever you've paid on those."
Yeah.
Um, but I think we just self medicate ourselves into the hospital.
It's really true. And then the other thing is bad food.
Oh
And
yeah,
bad food is all over, all over. If it's processed, it's probably bad.
yeah,
It's
and
probably not very good, you know. So that's the other thing I stay away from as much as possible. I do a lot of fruits, vegetables. Vegetables is my biggie. I will do certain chicken as organic as possible and fish I will do, but which still have their problems, but at least it's less than big red meat. Big red meat, the hormone content is unbelievable.
yeah, especially I think in the states they can give their beef hormones. In Canada, we're not allowed to do any of that.
Uh-huh.
We're not
Yep.
allowed to put hormones in our dairy. We're not allowed to put hormones in our milk, in our beef. But
Hmm.
yeah, I still go with my local grass-fed beef, which is
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. So, and that's really the problem, with Mexico with the diet. They say it's not like cheese. They said there's nothing wrong with cheese, but the hormones that go into cheese, that's the problem. So they urge me to really follow as close you can to organic grass-fed. You don't, and they said, of course, you can't do 100% perfect, but you want to hit about 75%, 80% as best you can. So that's what
which totally makes sense because you know that you have to live
you
at
have
the
to
same
live.
time. You
Yep.
have to have some joy, and if you like food, it's joy. You're right. And so
Yes. Yes.
chicken and rice every day is pretty boring.
And that's the other thing I do. I really look at food as medicine.
Yeah.
Everything that goes into me is medicine, and it is healing me. And I always bless food before, and I always have that idea behind it. And even water, and even if it's water that's questionable, I bless it, and I really think of it as being higher content because, as some of you may know, Dr. Emoto
Yes.
did the changing of the water through thought and imaging and labeling. And the water purified in a very different way. So I do that as well. I do that as well.
Well, I know we've talked about Dr. Moto many times, and we've talked about actually putting music into our water, like Sulfidia Tones and Anahata. She Honeywell. She has talked about blessing the water and actually putting your consciousness into it, so it can heal you and bring you different things. Because it's another new technology that nobody's really tapped fully into yet.
No, no,
But it's a
no.
big component of our bodies. So yeah, I think water is a big healing force.
Yeah. And we can do it on our own. We don't need, a lot of, it's just us. And that, and let's face it, prayer before a meal, that was like commonplace many years ago. And now people just jam it in. So there's no sacredness in the act. And everything that comes into our body or comes out of our body is sacred.
True, so true. What a wonderful talk. I'm glad you remembered us. And I know that it's been, I kind of blame it on the Mercury retrograde coming. And I'm thinking, what else did I screw up? But whatever reason you're here now, so that's wonderful. We got to do some readings ahead of time of our show, and we got to do
Wonderful.
some talk about the full moon and actually talking about don't worry. If you, I don't know if Teresa, you can remember that card, but we thought it sort of coordinated with what we were doing today. Was if she can bring out that card, and I think it was sort of goes with what your message is a lot about.
Yes, not to worry. What was it, Teresa?
This one is about worry. Worry is attachment to a particular outcome and the fear that it will not come to pass.
Yes, yes, yes. And again, when we get to disease, that's huge for people. And they've got so many attachments and so many things that they just can't let go of. And you know what I find most of the really seriously sick people can't let go of is their fear and worry over the people they would leave behind.
Yes.
And that, when you really think about it, everything will go on without you. I don't care what it is. I don't care how. I don't care if you're Martin Luther King. It will all go on. Gandhi. It will all go on without you. And people have to let go. When they worry about that, that's ego. That's ego. And that is helping to make you sicker. That's really what it's doing. Because it's kind of a little demonic mind screw that's making you believe that you're more important than is really probably what's actually going on. And I know people with small children, very hard to do because they are dependent, but they will find their way. And I knew one woman who she had a very small child, 3 years old, and she was terrified about leaving that child. And she was doing very well in her treatments. This was in Mexico. But then she went back to the child and they said, yeah, you'll have to come back in January. And she wouldn't come back. She said, no, I'll do it at the end of January. She didn't come back. No, I'll do it in February. I'm feeling great. They said, you have to come back right away. You have to come back. And she didn't. And in March, boom, she went so fast, nobody could believe it. The husband couldn't even get on our plane, but by then it was months too late. And she ended up leaving that 3.5-year-old by herself. And that child is now, blossoming and fabulous. So what good did it do her? What good did it do her? And she had a few good months with her because she went home feeling terrific. And she lasted through that New Year and all the way until I think she died like the middle to the end of March. And they begged her to come back. They literally begged her. They said, if you don't come back, you're looking at huge trouble. And she found it. But again, that was her destiny. That was her choice. And so I really reconciled that with the fact that that's what she needed to do. Whatever she did with that child in that time was her sacred space that she had to accomplish on this planet before she left.
Yeah.
End of story. That's it.
Right.
You know?
It's very, yeah, it's quite true. We our ego says we're more, although we know we're not more important, we pretend we're doing sacrifices for other people, but
Yes.
it's really we're putting our ego ahead and saying that
Absolutely.
our sacrifice is going to save you.
Yes.
It's not going to save you. It's just going to, you're just sacrificing yourself.
That's
So
it. That's it. And you know, and there's a lot of people that have that complex and martyrdom and the Jesus Christ, you know, like crucify me. And again, it's their illusion.
yeah,
It's their illusion, and it may be serving them on some level. But I urge them to let go of it. But if they don't, well, then that's their journey. It's
yeah.
just a journey. And they will be back.
And they have to do it over again, or maybe that was what they had to
Or
experience,
maybe that's what they had to accomplish. Yeah.
because we don't get that contrast in the spirit world. We don't get the pain, we don't get that, because we're always at bliss or
Then, yeah.
yeah. So I guess we need to fill in the blanks with the bad stuff too. um, okay, so we have a couple of questions for you, and we want you back in, again this year, so if
Oh,
you have
great.
time for us and
I
give us an update.
do. I do.
Oh, Patty, yeah, well, yeah, she just loves it. So she's taken over my other dog space
Oh,
in
dear.
the spirit sessions. Okay, you can stay down. Um, do you work with any crystals? And do you have any crystals that you recommend people work with?
No, I don't work with crystals as much, although I do have crystals and I keep them in the space, but I don't actually work with particular crystals.
And why do you keep crystals in your space? Is it just the high vibe of them?
Yeah, it's just to have them here and just as little reminders.
Okay, cool.
Hmm.
That's cool. So do you have a new theme song for your life right now?
Well, the best is yet to come. The best is to come. Oh, babe. Da, 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 da.
Oh, you didn't mention you were an opera singer too, so you have to put that plug in for yourself as well.
Oh, right. I was singing opera. As a matter of fact, I was singing it. Well, that's what kind of the first cancer came in the middle. As a matter of fact, I had a big engagement when I got ill. And I still did it for about 2 years upon my return. And then I felt like it was becoming too taxing. So I now do it on my own. I do singing on my own, but I don't do it in church, but I don't do it as a profession, you know.
Yeah, because it
So
takes up a lot of time, right?
it does. It really does. And it's what I'm learning is maybe now it would be different. Energy is always flowing in and out, right? And when we have something big like that, sometimes the flow out can be way more than we need.
Right.
And because I was kind of the underdog in opera and then became a top dog for a very short time, I was doing too much.
Okay.
And that was one of the things I needed to curtail.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and also like how is it serving you best? And maybe you don't need that ego boost anymore. I mean,
Right.
performing is a wonderful ego boost, and it's a great giving, but it's not you don't get as much back, I don't think.
No. And I just loved the music, and I loved the riding of the wave on the rhythm and the sound.
But you can get that in church singing in the choir,
Exactly.
and you get more back from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Awesome. Because it is kind of, when you're singing in choirs and singing in church, it's like, I always say, it's like doing a yoga class with a lot of people. You
yeah,
hear all that energy,
there's that energy.
it flows through you, and it's really sacred because spirit comes in, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
So
So that's my journey right now. I I feel the cancer will eradicate, but do any of us know anything? The answer is no. It hasn't eradicated fully yet. So, I go with a positive idea, but I don't go with an expectation.
Yeah.
I never expect anything to work out any particular way. And I caution a lot of people about that, because when you expect it, you can get fooled. You can get fooled into thinking that it's something when it's not. So I'm always more on the cautionary side. But yeah, I believe a positive attitude, even if one is dying, a positive attitude is much better than a negative one.
Oh,
Because,
absolutely.
yep.
Absolutely.
So,
I mean, I've seen people go through death lots and
yep. And
much,
I
much
tell
easier.
even the ones that are dying, don't get caught up in the sadness of it, because there's nothing sad. You've completed. You're going to a better, bigger space. So allow.
Graduation. Yeah. That's what you
Graduation. That's right.
Graduation. Yeah. Yeah. So, one last question. I just wanted to know if you have, in your trips to Mexico and back, have you ever seen any UFOs?
Yes, the first time I was in Mexico.
I have a
Now I
feeling.
didn't see them. What would happen is, they'd be the light, and then all of a sudden they'd disappear. And then all of a sudden that same light would reappear someplace else. And it was like, now that's not stars.
That's awesome.
So and there were a lot of people out in Mexico that, had witnessed the same thing.
So, what did that do with your spiritual kind of thing? Did it give you a hit of there's more beyond than we even know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And again, I think that's what the spiritual world is. I think it is a real world on another dimensional level that is operating maybe parallel or in relationship to this one, but and really it kind of coincided with what I had always imagined. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
So it never shook me. And I've had so many things happen in my own life that were kind of 4 or 5 dimensional, especially with brain cancer. Let me tell you.
Is that like taking some DMT or something? So you get kind of an like your brain goes into a different state?
Yes, totally. And when the reason I knew I had brain cancer, my brain was swelling and I didn't know it. But it swelled so much that it pushed the left side into the right. And all of a sudden, one day I was walking to work and I was like, where am I going? And then all of a sudden it was like, where am I? I had no idea. And then it was like, wait a minute, who am I?
Yeah.
I know I'm somebody. And that was the beginning of it, where I was like, I can't. And it was like I knew, but I couldn't recall it. And then finally I was able to get somebody on the phone. And I said, I don't actually know what's going on. And even the phone, I didn't really know how to operate it. It was like, whoa. And then my fingers would go and do certain things and I'd go, oh, and then I saw a name I recognized and I punched the name. And it was that woman who got me to the hospital, and her partner took me to the hospital because I knew, and they knew, this is not going well. But I was having heightened experiences. I didn't understand anything. Everything felt like it was moving too fast. I remember I saw a biker and I thought, how do they do that? It was like being a baby again. And it was a beautiful experience. I didn't get panicked because in the back of my mind, I knew it. I just didn't know it at the moment. It's like a memory you can't recall, but you have it somewhere.
Like a dream recall,
Like a dream.
like just grasping at it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then my right arm started to, like, if I went to grab something, it would do this, and I'd be like, wow, what's happening? And then the right leg started going as well. And at first, I really thought I was having a stroke. It just hit me that it would be a stroke. But I didn't even really know what a stroke was. I mean, I do, but I didn't at that point. And then when I got to the hospital, which remember was COVID still, so I had to go in by myself. And I was just standing there, and they said, "Sir, how can we help you?" And I said, "I think I'm having a stroke." And they went, "Are you serious?" And I said, "Well, maybe it's an aneurysm." The word aneurysm came, I don't even know where. And they were like, "Oh my God." And then they, sat me down in a wheelchair, and then it became apparent that I was not clocking in this reality. And it did seem very much like a dream. And like I could put something down in a place, and then I would look back and it was gone. And then it was all the guessing game. Did I really put it down or did I not put it down? The brain was it was unbelievable what it was doing. Unbelievable.
It's amazing. Like you
Yeah.
say, more that you learn, right? We learn more from brain cancer, like just how the mind does and doesn't work.
Exactly. And then I had to work with that. I had to work with that new reality. And so that was another challenging thing. I'm trying to work with something, and I don't even know how the other reality fully worked. I'm still confused, So it was really quite the experience. And then, of course, bombardment at the hospital. Just total, utter.
And you're supposed to make decisions when you can't really even know who you are.
Yeah, and then
you had the angels looking after you there. So
yeah, and that was a lot of angels helping out, And then I finally got a hold of that neighbor, and then I got a hold of my sister, which was challenging as well because the phone, I would think I was doing what it needed me to do to call them, and then it wouldn't work. It was like, okay, let's try this again. So, it's just the idea, and that's what I always tell people. Stay as calm as possible no matter what's going on. Even if the world is falling apart, stay as calm as you possibly can, because the hysteria will never help you. It will never help you. And it will exacerbate everything. Everything. So that's my other bit of advice.
That's awesome. Thank you, Gary, so much for just one moment. I had to be late. Sorry. Somebody's for being with us today. And thank you for coming on. And we hope to have you again in the future soon. And
I would love it.
And just because it's been such a wonderful time. Everybody's just so grateful and happy and thankful that you're here, and we love the divine timing. And I just have to give. Sorry, Mike Bex usually does this part. Kathy Schlieblen Donnelly, you are the winner from last week's Share It Out. So we will be sending you links for the meditation. And want to thank you all for being here and be here next week. And we'll have on. Anything else you want to say, Teresa? Sorry, I muted you because you had some background.
Yeah, there's an air conditioner to come on.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay.
Yeah, that meditation's a healing meditation that you can go through. I wonder if Gary should have a little fun with it too.
Yeah, we'll send you the link, Gary. You can go to Egypt. You'll love it.
Excellent. Excellent.
It's Soul Spa, Egypt. Yay.
Excellent.
So thank you so much, and we love.
Thank you.
So tell people where they can find your book, just quickly.
Oh yes, go to Amazon and you can put in Gary Bliss or Gary Ramsey Bliss. It'll all come up, and that talks about the first cancer journey and how I navigated through that. Which, remember, was actually I've now been told that was far worse and far more dangerous than this current cancer.
Wow.
Even though in this paradigm, this is worse, but it's all a perspective.
A war of perspectives.
Thank you so much. And now you get to see the trailer that you didn't see coming in. So we're going to play that on our way out. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. And I'm glad you could all. Thanks for being patient, everyone.
Blessings to all. Thank you.